What's going on, traders? John with Tactical Trading here with another video for you here on Saturday. I know I mentioned that I would go into more depth about this overnight pattern that I've been utilizing this month of October at the end of the OTC Saturday video, but I kind of just slipped my mind going towards the end of the video. So I want to dedicate a video solely to this pattern that has been working phenomenally for me for the past month. I really been kind of looking at this pattern and going into the end of August and in September, saw that this pattern was starting to gain a little momentum. Wasn't working that well in August. September started working quite a lot better, and it seems like when that SPI stock took off, this pattern took off itself. I don't know the correlation between the two, but I know that small cap stocks have gained a little bit of momentum since then. They have died down just a little bit, but we are now getting into the hot months of trading for the small cap stocks, and this is a pattern that I've used in just this month alone. We are 10-2 just this month in this pattern. One of them was it was a penny loss. So actually, when I gave my number in the last video, it was a penny loss. I counted it as kind of like a break even, so I didn't count it. But we're gonna be exact on this. There was a penny loss on it, so I ended up losing about I think $14 on it, $15 on that trade. So we will count that as a loss. We are 10-2 this month. First, let me go over the trades that I did. On October 5th, we bought CBAT Energy, CBAT, at $4.31 in the after hours, to turn around the next morning on October 6th to sell it at $5.16. On the 6th of October, in the after hours, we bought OEG, Orbital Energy Group, at 85 cents. We ended up selling the following morning at $1.34. We also took IO that night at $2.49, selling it at $2.56 the following morning. The OEG was an astronomical gain, and it actually shot up to $2.40 and change in the pre-market, but it was just a little before the 6 a.m. time period where I could sell it on my TD Ameritrade account, or else that would have been almost another $1,000 that I would have picked, a little over $1,000 I would have picked up on that trade, but that was a huge trade. 2 nights later, we went with Camber Energy Group, CEI. We picked that up at $1.09 right at the close, or right before the close. Sell it the following morning at $1.26. And that was when they put news out that they were doing an update on their merger. So it was actually trading below $1.10. Got that news and shot up. So I count myself a little lucky on that trade, but it worked out. The following night was a Friday. We picked up OPTT, Ocean Power Technologies, at $2.55 in the after hours, right after the close. Sold it the following morning at $2.66 for a 11-cent gain on that one. Then on the Monday, because that was a Friday trade, on October 12th, we went with, again, Camber Energy, CEI. We picked that up at $1.09 in the after hours, sold that the following morning at $1.17. 2 days later, we on October 14th had our probably our biggest gain to go along with OEG. Is STAF. We picked that one up at $1.11 in the after hours after a slight pullback after a run. This thing ran up from the close from about 76 cents, had a lot of momentum, pulled up to almost $1.20, pulled back to $1.10 where I picked it up at $1.11. The following morning, we sold this at $1.82. Now, we did make another day trade on this after that. This thing shot up to $3.30 some odd cents. So you can see where this momentum can take some of these stocks. The following night, we took MTC. This was the 1 penny loss. We picked it up at $1.33 in the after hours to sell it the following morning at $1.32. We did have a gain in the morning. I did anticipate, because they put earnings out, we were going to get a little push into the open, and that did not happen. We were up about 5 or 6 cents. It pulled back, and I tried to get out at break even, but it broke below, so we just cut our losses with that, practically break even at $1.32. The following night, this was last Friday, we went and took NNDM. We took a sizable position on NNDM at $4.79. The following Monday, we got out of that in the pre-market at $5.70 for a nice gain. And then actually on that Monday night, because that was a Friday, we sold the Monday morning. On October 19th, just Monday of this week, we took two overnight trades that worked out phenomenally for us. We took ACOR, ACOR. We picked that up on the news. They got some funding at 98 cents. This thing shot up from I believe it was the 70s or 60s. It was up pretty good in the after hours. Picked it up under $1 at 98 cents to sell it the following morning at $1.24. If I was able to sell this between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., I could have made another 20, 30 cents on this, if not more. This thing went up to, I think, $1.80. So, as you can see with this strategy, it is really, really beneficial to have a Webull or a kind of account like that where you can sell right at the beginning of pre-market because OEG I would have made a lot more. STAF I could have made some more, but I ended up, that thing ended up returning to its highs and surpassing those, so it really didn't matter on that one. But this ACOR trade really could have been another big time trade. We're talking, when you're playing the size that I am on some of these trades, you're talking another $1,000 to $1,500 on a trade, which that's decent money. I don't care where you're from or who you are. That very night, we also took AIHS, a stock I really like going into next week. AIHS. We picked up this stock at $1.42 right at the end of the after hours, and we sold it the next morning at $1.86. Now, this one I kind of got lucky on again, kind of like CEI, where news came out in the pre-market where it kind of assisted me. But hey, a win's a win, a loss is a loss, and we count them the same. This one came out with news about their BYD. They came out with a agreement with BYD that they were going to get into a ride sharing and assist and purchase some BYD vehicles to get into the China ride sharing market. And this thing just accelerated the stock, popped it up all the way up over $2, but I ended up getting out at $1.86. Then I also, the following day, took AIHS again, picked this up at $1.21 in the after hours, held it the entire following day. Had some chances to sell. It got up to about $1.19, $1.16. It kept on getting pops throughout the day. I held it out overnight. And then the following, at the end of that after hours, I ended up picking up more shares close to $1. The following day, I did end up selling at 111 on one of the pop-ups. Hey, I could have, and just about an hour and a half later, this thing ended up grinding up into the after hours at $1.30 something. So if I was just a little more patient, I could have hung on to this, and this trade which was a loss, which was only my second loss, the first loss only a penny. This one could have turned out a winner if I was just a little more patient. And then yesterday we made a trade on MARK on their on a tweet from the company that they'll be selling their products with Intel. We picked this one up. We made the day trade, and then in the after hours, we picked up some more shares to hold over the weekend at $1.47. We will see where this goes on Monday. I am looking at MARK as a possible gapper on Monday, especially if they come out with a legitimate PR. Now that that's all said and done, let's kind of get into this strategy and how I look for it and what I look for. It is always helpful to have scanners. But there are scanners that you can use, free scanners on YouTube that will help you out. There's one in particular, Stock Rocks. It's a channel that's absolutely fabulous. All it is an all-day scanner, and you have someone that the gentleman running the channel is sitting there, and whenever news breaks or a stock is hitting its highs, you will hear the computer-generated ticker call out when the stock is hitting its highs, and he will also call out what news has been dropped, typically just a few seconds behind, maybe a minute or two behind. So it is better to have a scanner, but this does work as well. So what you could do is towards the end of every day, you look at what stocks are grinding up, what stocks are hitting their highs towards the end of the day, or look at some stocks that have gapped up pretty hard throughout the day and have pulled back. You kind of want these stocks that have gapped up and pulled back to kind of ride around VWAP the entire way. This is kind of like the dip and rip or the VWAP high of daybreak or VWAP hold high of daybreak strategies that I do use. what happens is you want these stocks to start grinding up in the after hours, getting some momentum, and you also want to see some volume coming in on these in the after hours. You want to see traders noticing these particular plays and pushing them towards highs of the towards the highs of the day, or just getting some momentum going into the end of the day. Anytime you see a stock gaining 10, 15, 20% in the after hours, you know traders are trading it, especially on volume. You know it's going to be looked at the following morning. Now, again, it will be advantageous to you to have an account where you can trade a little earlier in the pre-market. That 3-hour time window is a long time in the pre-market to have stocks trading and you not being able to take a part of it. And that's been my issue with this strategy, because a couple times it has cost me huge amounts of money. Both trades, in fact, that it did cost me on were nice wins. There were significant wins, and they were my two best wins of using this strategy in October. But the fact of the matter is, these wins could have been doubled if I were to, if I were able to take part in the trading earlier in the pre-market session. With TD Ameritrade, and I am going off Central Time, I am not able to trade till 6 a.m. Central Time in the morning, where the markets open at 3 a.m. Central Time. So that would be 4 a.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. Eastern Time if you're in the Eastern Time zone. But typically, like I said, what I look for is a stock that is surging towards the end of the day, a stock that particularly has had news right at the end of the day, right in the after hours. Those are the best ones, because a lot of traders close up the day at 3 p.m. They close the books, they're out the door, or 4 p.m., whatever time zone you're in, and my time zone is 3 o'clock. They close their books, they close their laptops at 3, and they take off. A lot of times news breaks right after the close. And especially if good news breaks after the close and the stock starts surging, traders are picking up on this. A lot of the traders that normally would get involved in a move such as this are not involved. And what they do is they look the next morning in their gap scanners and they see these stocks hitting their gap scanners. They come in and buy them right away in the pre-market, anticipating that these things will hit the open and just skyrocket and be the top runners of the day. So these are terrific plays to take advantage of. I typically look to make about 20% on these trades, which is normally higher than the typical day trade. These are perfect for individuals that are under the PDT rule in particular. There's two patterns that I love for being under the PDT rule. For a lot of you guys that don't have $25,000 accounts and are under this ridiculous PDT rule, and if you don't know what the PDT rule is, where you can make 3 day trades in a 5-day rolling period. What these allow you to do is make very simple. I mean, they're very close, about as close as day trades as you can get without making it being accounted against you for a day trade. So the first green day, obviously, I prefer this being an OTC stock because OTCs do not trade pre-market and post-market. I like the first green day, particularly in OTCs, where a stock has a day where it is up, between 25% or higher for the first time in a while, and it's usually on. I like it on news and high volume. Typically, those stocks they gap up the following morning and have a nice morning run. Where if you buy them towards the end of the day, if they close towards anywhere within about 10 to 15% of the high of the day, if you could buy those at the end of the day and sell them the following morning for a nice gain, that is a terrific play for someone under the PDT. Now, this strategy works for listed stocks better than the first green day does, in my opinion. It is a very similar type play, except for you're waiting for the end of the day, and you can also take this into the after hours. Especially, again, traders that are under the PDT, you don't really have to worry about this. The after hours and pre-market are kind of illiquid. This is why a lot of the big traders don't trade in those, in those time frames, because there's not a lot of volume. But if you're only trading a couple hundred to a couple thousand shares, typically you still can get in and out of these stocks. And a lot of these may trade a couple million in the pre-market. They may trade 800,000 to $1.5 million in the after hours, if not more, and they may trade anywhere from $1 million to $2 or $3 million in the pre-market, and sometimes even more than that. So you could get in and out without moving the stock yourself with even a couple thousand shares. So this is definitely a pattern that I would suggest taking a look at. What you need to do before you get into this pattern, because obviously I am not a financial advisor. I am just here to give you what I'm doing in the market, what's been successful to me, and kind of just presenting it to you guys for help, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of this. I would probably maybe over the next couple weeks take a look at the market. Find some way to find these runners that go into the after hours. Write the ticker down. Write at the price that, okay, it's going up here. I would have bought it right here. I stock XYZ at $1.15. It's up from 85 cents. It's at $1.15. I'm going to buy it right here, and then check it out the next morning and see where this thing goes the next morning, where you may have taken your opportunity to sell this stock, and see if this pattern does fit your trading style and fit your obviously the trading that you do in your portfolio. One thing with this is you have to watch the markets more than just the regular hours, and you do have to get up real early in the morning to catch those pre-market moves and be able to take care of those pre-market, because typically at 6 a.m. when that pre-market opens for the majority of these brokers, the stock will either push up hard or push down hard, because a lot more traders now can trade. They get in, and if the stock is grinding up, there could be some profit taking, or there could be more guys pushing in to get this thing. So you want to have your trading platform open and your sell order ready to go, just in case this thing breaks and you don't want to lose out on some profits. I mean, obviously it all depends on how you're feeling and what the chart looks like, what the volume looks like. This thing can always push down at 6 and then grind its way back up and even break highs going into the open and after the open. But this is something you're going to want to watch. You're going to want to check for yourself, do your own due diligence to see if this strategy works good for you. But like I said, this has been my top strategy over the over the month of October, and I'm just passing it on to you. Hopefully you can take advantage of this, and hopefully this works out for you. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe. If this has been a help to you, please hit that like button, and also if you haven't subscribed before, hit the subscribe button. We will have our watch list video coming out tomorrow night. We're going to try to make this a great watch list. Just digging through a ton of stocks. I have a feeling next week is going to be one heck of a week, and we just have to take advantage of it. So as always, again, please like, please share, please subscribe. Put your message in the comment section below. Any questions in the comment section below, or any stocks you want me to take a look at, do the same, and let's get that money, traders.